You don't feel alone.
That's the main thing.
Yes, you don't feel alone.
You feel like
Yeah.
there's a family person here for you. If something is wrong, you have who to talk to, and you don't hold anything back. That must be my private
Right.
secret. I mean, there's nothing that she could ask me or I could ask her that we won't discuss.
And we've discussed our families also. And we both have families here.
Well, that's why everybody is here. There's some part of the family around.
But she has a daughter and I have a daughter here. So that's good.
Yep.
The point is that we'll tell each other. Doesn't mean that we always agree.
Yeah, we could disagree about things.
We do disagree about things. Sometimes. Not very often, but sometimes.
But we're two different people and we realize
Right.
we don't have to think about everything exactly the same.
Well, we've also learned that we both were teachers
In New York
in
City.
New York City. All right? So that this, so we'll discuss education, we'll discuss that. Also, that's one of the topics that we feel comfortable with.
And we both grew up in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's a big place. I didn't know her in Brooklyn. She didn't know me in Brooklyn.
Different parts of Brooklyn. But we're able to discuss a lot of these things
In Brooklyn that we knew.
that we grew up and so on, and relate this to what we are now here.
We both have the same religion. We're both, well, we both lost our husbands. We were both married to men in the same religion. Both married a long time to the same person. Both have 2 children. There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, and we're able to relate to each other.
And we both lived in Florida. And when my husband got sick, I didn't know her there, but I moved into the century
Development.
that she lived in. Not that I even met her there, but it was right next door and it was on the ground floor. He couldn't walk steps anymore. And I didn't want to go swimming and leave him alone in the apartment. But if he could walk out without the steps, he could sit by the pool with me.
But we were both happy with the places that we came from.
Yeah.
All right, we came from Florida, but the place that I had, I also liked it very much. So we could also relate to Florida
Yeah.
and what's going on. And in fact, I have friends from Florida who still call.
It's wonderful, ladies. What a great story and a way that you've been able to connect with each other. Like you said, the similarities, but respectful of your differences. And that's truly what friendship is about, right? Being able to connect, but respect at the same time.
Not with everything, but you know what? We're not the same person. We're 2 different people, and I like her, she likes me, and we know we don't have to agree about everything. We can disagree and still be friends. It's very nice here anyway. This is a nice place.
Yeah.
We're very happy to be here because we find that first of all, what we get from this, the people who work here are wonderful to all the people here. Even then, sometimes we don't like what we eat once, but the point is that we're being served and we are, as a result, we find ourselves very comfortable with the people who work here.
Well,
Appreciate it.
It's not easy to live with younger children because if you're in their house, they are the boss of their own house. I understand it, but I certainly don't want my daughter telling me, you're not doing that the way I do it. And I'm glad I'm here rather than being in their home. And I'm glad I can afford to be here because it isn't inexpensive.
By the way, one of the things is that I made sure that I don't tell my daughter what to do. All right? Because I'm not going to tell my grandchildren either. And my grandchildren are spread all over the world, the United States, so that we could still relate even to them and we tell each other what we've seen with the kids, what our kids are doing. She'll tell me what her kids are doing. When she had a new baby born to one of the kids, was great. We all celebrated, basically, and we were very anxious and happy that this happened.
Yeah, that's another interesting relationship, the mother and daughter relationship, isn't it? As time goes on, yeah.
I had 2 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
One daughter had 2 daughters. The other daughter had a son and a daughter. But none of the kids live near their parents anymore. Everybody goes all over the country.
Yeah.
I have 2, a daughter and a son. My daughter lives here. She's the reason that this was the place that she and my son discussed as to where would be the best place. Mm. And so this was closest to that he lives in New Jersey. But he comes with what I call the 3 bumpkins, the 3 great-grandchildren. Mm-hmm. So that we'll talk about our great-grandchildren. When she had a new great-grandchild, we thought that was great. All right? And the same thing goes. Now my grandchildren are spread all around. One is in Chicago, one is in New York City, and one from my daughter, and one is in Chicago, not Chicago, is Pittsburgh. And my son has 3 also.